All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Justin Garland, I'm the sales manager with Machine Metrics. Welcome, everyone, to our webinar series on the operator dash. We are going to introduce to you the newer design for our operator interface with the purpose of empowering the operator and engaging to drive efficiency on the shop floor. And today we'll have a few presenters from Machine Metrics. Jacob Loger, our CTO and co-founder, as well as Joshua Fish, who's a customer success manager. So just to run through an agenda, we're going to just start with a brief introduction on Machine Metrics and the OpDash. We'll talk about why the importance, what's the significance of our operator interface. Then we'll go into the demonstration of how it works. And we'll talk about some top use cases from a few different perspectives. And we'll, throughout the course of the webinar, we'll show some materials that demonstrate the effectiveness from the customer standpoint. And then finally, we'll finish up with a Q&A at the end. So a few just items to get out of the way. The webinar is being recorded. We'll send out a link after the recording, so if you have to drop off, no worries at all. And of course, the Q&A, we welcome any questions, and if we can't get to them within the webinar, we will address them following the event. So this is the operator dashboard. This is our operator interface. And, we know that digital transformation, can't be approached from a top-down perspective necessarily. Rather, it requires an entirety of the organization to be on board for a successful implementation of that type of technology. So that includes your equipment, your shop floor, and also your business systems across the corporation and the organization. So we're excited to share the new operator dashboard, inspired by feedback we've received from our customers in the field. And we've specifically designed it to make life on the shop floor easier. So that includes driving efficiency. It represents the end product of months of research and discussions with our customers. And in this live webinar, we'll be sharing the latest updates and the impact it's having for operators using it. So now I'll show a brief video, which is kind of an introduction to Machine Metrics.
Manufacturing produces more data than any other major industry in the world, yet has been slow to adopt the digital mindset transforming industries like agriculture, banking, and healthcare. Manual data collection is time-consuming and inaccurate. Operating on gut instinct alone leads to inefficiencies and poor decision-making that affect every component of a company's operation, from significant downtime to production losses. We're in the age of Industry 4.0, and manufacturers need every edge they can get to stay competitive. Real-time actionable data is that edge. Your machines generate hundreds of data points every millisecond, all of which tell a story of what happened in the past, what's happening now, and what will happen next. It's time you harness that data and jump-started your factory's digital transformation. Machine Metrics provides an intuitive, flexible monitoring platform that easily collects data from any piece of manufacturing equipment and transforms it into powerful, actionable insights. Why does Machine Metrics succeed where so many others have failed? The key is in our ease of use and time to value. The Machine Metrics IoT platform is easy to install and implement. You'll start visualizing data in a matter of hours. Plug-and-play edge connectivity harnesses and standardizes machine data across your entire fleet. Our intuitive, out-of-the-box apps are easy to use and drive rapid improvements in efficiency. Training is minimal. Real-time shop floor dashboards, machine production and condition monitoring, historical reporting, and automated alerts instantly enable visibility and analytics to help your team understand the big picture. Build your own apps or seamlessly connect with your current shop floor systems to easily integrate machine data across your digital factory. Machine Metrics will help your team deliver the right information to the right person at the right time. identify potential bottlenecks before they occur, update cycle time standards in real time to improve pricing and scheduling, detect anomalies and predict maintenance events before they cause downtime. Empower your workforce with step-by-step instructions to optimize processes. Enable lights-out manufacturing with remote monitoring and alarm notifications. With Machine Metrics, any manufacturer can start leveraging their machine data immediately to drive improvements and provide the foundation for scaling data across their operations. It's time to start transforming your factory, all with the click of a button. Harness the power of machine data so it can become your competitive advantage.
All right, so now we'll have Jacob Lozier, our co-founder and CTO, go ahead and give an overview of our operator dashboard and some of the methodology we used for the redesign and the feedback that we got from our customer base.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, I really just want to focus on why the OpDash, why the operator, why we decided to really focus on this area of our product. So when we started to build the operator interface the first time, this was many years, a number of years ago, we really realized that there was an opportunity for us to communicate to the operator and let them understand, are they meeting their goals or not? And it evolved from there to allow for us, gave us the opportunity to ask the operator, why is the machine down? And now you had a little bit of a dialogue. So your operators understood whether they were meeting their goals, and they could actually backfill some on-the-floor context as to why the machine isn't performing as expected to management so that they can provide training opportunities to improve process. Well, we've learned even more since then that there are actual workflows that can be driven by the operator, and we have a screen at the machine allowing the operator to provide that context to the rest of the organization. For example, when the machine goes down, it's true, we ask the operator why, but that can drive workflows. So when we developed the workflow system in Machine Metrics, allowing communication to really fire off in all different directions, not just between people, but between software systems. One of the primary triggers to that is operator input, categorizing downtime. And so that evolved even further still and gave us a lot of opportunities to take the interface that we have and build on it. So as some of the demos that we go through, you're going to see, if you've used our previous operator interface, you'll know that it was really built for very specific purposes. The new operator interface, it extends upon that and allows for us to build more and more with the concept of tabs. So Machine Metrics has out-of-the-box tabs, and we'll talk about where we're going in the future. But tabs is a way for us to really extend the capability of the tablet interface beyond just Machine Metrics. There's an entire ecosystem of applications that the operator needs to interact with on a daily basis. So we really set out to make the operator dashboard an extensible part of the Machine Metrics platform. Over time, we're going to open that operator interface to third-party applications so that those best-of-breeds tools can be right in the hands of the operator, right at the machine. They don't have to walk to an MES terminal to provide more data to us. The way I think of, the way we think of our operators, the machine operators, is that any opportunity that we can help them is really what we're after. And we can still use the information that's captured at the time that we're helping them to build process and better business practices around what they're doing. So it's really about making their lives easier and taking that information to help the business get stronger. Justin.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. So what we'll do now is we'll show a little perspective from one of our local customers, and that's going to be Fairview Machine. Let me just get to the next clip here.
And then as the patch comes, when it clocks in and it starts my time. And then as the patch come off, I run this like a game. Before we got these, I did this a lot myself. I timed everything right out. But now I can see exactly what I'm doing, where my MOs are, where I got to stop, when the machine's down. And this way here, I can follow it right to the second. And that's what I try to do that anyway, but now I can see it perfectly. So now the game that I play in my head, I'm constantly up against, I consider it, I'm against the clock all day. But now I can see the clock absolutely perfect. So every time I know where I gotta be constantly, so I make things come up in the green. Like if I see it go in the orange or if it's in the red, I panic. That means that I'm doing something wrong and I'm not staying up with my MOs or if my shift in the parts changing sides, I gotta make sure. So by following that to a T, I can see when it goes orange, if it goes red, when I'm in green, when I get over 100%. There's times where I'll get up to 102, 103%, but when I take a coffee break, those 10 minutes will drop it back down, and I'll get to 99, and then I got to fight the rest of the day to make sure I get my number where I want at the end of the day. And I like to be, the green is the number. Cool. If I'm seeing a green color there, I'm happy all day. If I'm seeing an orange color, I'm pissed. If I see a red, I'm screaming. Because I want that in green all day. That's the way I like it. If it goes like that, then my day's good, I'm happy, my boss is happy, and the owner's happy. And that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, making money and keeping everybody happy. And green is good because that means there's green in my wallet, and then I'm happy for that.
So now Josh is going to go ahead and give you a demo of the operator interface. Josh, go ahead and take it away, buddy. Josh, you're muted.
Thank you. Just to give a little backstory, actually, prior to joining Machine Metrics, I was an operator, machinist, shop floor programmer for machines for 10 years. So I have a little bit of a stake in where the operator interface is going and how it got changed. So a lot of the feedback that we had heard prior to changing over to this new operator dash was that it was abrasive. We were seeing too much color on the shop floor. This is from operators' perspectives. So we went with a different type of layout that helped bring a little bit less abrasiveness to the shop floor and more of a tool for operators to use. Something that operators don't really get out on the shop floor is, other than obviously the machine tools, they don't get a tool for communication. So we wanted to make this the tool for communication. So I'm going to go, this is our machine switcher here. So we get to pick which machine we want to load up. So let me load up a machine. So this machine is already in setup. We can tell by the top bar what the current status of the machine is. So a yellow bar is going to show that it's in setup. A purple bar, which I'll show you in a second, means that the job has been paused. If it's green, it means that it's active. If it's blue, it means that it's idle. The machine state will always be up at the top bar here rather than being anywhere else on the screen. This gives you a quick view of what is actually going on your machine. As Jacob said, we changed it to a little bit of a different tabs feature. So our tabs that are available will show parts goal, and I'll show that in a minute. A utilization view that shows how your machine has been running for uptime versus downtime throughout the day. This machine has been set up for quite a while, so we're going to see a little bit of a different. I'll switch machines to show a little bit more detail into this. Downtimes that have occurred throughout the day and downtimes that have occurred in prior shifts. And you'll be able to see notes from prior shifts. If the operator leaves a note for the next shift, a note will be available for the operator to actually click on and see. Something that we do out on the shop floor all the time is leave a sticky note on the door of the machine saying that the machine's running good, or that tool 5 is breaking every 5 parts, so keep an eye out for that. We wanted to bring these communication tools to the operator so that they can not only converse between themselves and between shifts, but also bring the data and the communication to the management team to tell when things are going wrong or when you need help. Alarms will get put into the new operator interface as well in a little bit of a different way. It actually lists out any open alarms or alarms that have happened through the past couple of weeks. A parts goal is available for when you run a job and have the ability to see the expected part time that runs for the shift versus the amount of parts that are actually being made. One of my favorite ones is the current cycle time. So if I'm running multiple machines, I have this page up on each of my machines, and I get to see when I expect my part to be done versus when the times that in the past that it has been done. I can get to the machine faster that way and know that my machine is taking about 5 minutes a piece. I can walk over to the machine at 4.5 minutes, be ready for it, swap it out, get it back going. And I know that my other machine is still running at the same time. If OEE is something that your company is really focused on, we have the ability to have that out on the shop floor as a metric to really show what OEE, so it's an overall operational initiative rather than just a management initiative that's there that management is worried about. You can bring the operators into the conversation and communicate this a little bit deeper to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the job. So say the operator wanted to stop a setup because it's the end of his shift. He didn't finish his setup for the day and it's Friday. So he's got to pick it back up on Monday. So he's going to pause the job. This is something that you weren't able to do in our old operator interface. So now we give them the ability to do that. We're going to confirm that there was no parts made yet and confirm the pause. So now the machine is in a pause state and will allow the operator to pick it back up whenever they're ready to continue their setup as they need it. I'm actually going to switch machines here and go over to a machine that's actually running. So a little bit about the new interface with at least parts goal. Instead of the entire screen, like on the prior operator interface, being all red if you are in the red, only the middle circle will actually show that the current goal of the machine is in the red or green or orange, like the operator was talking about on the video that we just watched. They also have the opportunity to categorize downtimes. Looks like this machine hasn't had a downtime in the shift, so I'm going to go to a machine that's actually in a downtime. They have a different way of categorizing the downtime via a actual category subcategory layout. So instead of having a large list of these downtime categories, they have the ability to choose the category and then the subcategory underneath it. Looks like it's not set up on this job, so on this machine, so I need to fix that. But we now have the opportunity to make this a little bit cleaner, a little bit less cumbersome when you go directly to the categorization page. And make it a little bit more granular on the metric side, on the data side for management to dig into what is actually happening at these machines on a little bit more of a granular level. The same thing goes for the reject reasons. They do the exact same thing where you can have a category and a subcategory, whether it's dimensional with out of spec on a whole or dimensional out of spec on the overall length. Those are all options for the reject reasons to be used. We also have a new language selector. So if you have a multilingual shop floor, you have the ability to change your layouts to French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian, as well as having training guides available directly at the tablet. So when your operators are ready to be or are being swapped over to this, any questions that they really have can be guided to the operator training module that's inside of the tablet already. They can learn how to categorize downtime, learn the anatomy of the tabs, how to sign in and out, things like that are all available to them so that they don't have to go and look around. You don't have to print out a booklet that shows how to use our tablet anymore. This is all directly on the tablet ready to go. Something else that we are developing as well is our ability to create workflows based on these the downtime categories. Things like first piece inspection that you need quality to come over to the machine is something that we hear all the time from operators. They need quality over to their machine in a timely manner. So what they could do is categorize a downtime as when they're in setup, say, and categorize that downtime as first piece inspection. They categorize that downtime as first piece inspection. It sends a text to the quality team, and the quality team is aware now that at machine Robo 2, there's a part ready for inspection. This helps drive that action on the shop floor that we really want to use the operator interface as a tool for the operator, rather than just a way to categorize a downtime or as a way to see what is going on that machine at that exact moment. So that's a quick demo of the new operator interface. Justin, would you want to go around and actually go through maybe the other side of the data and show them where this data actually lives in our product?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the question now becomes, well, how do managers use that data? We're able to generate it down on the shop floor, add context when we have, downtime events. But what's the use case, around, continuous improvement, let's say, for that data? So I'll go ahead and share a couple of reports here. And I'll show you how our customers are using our downtime Pareto to focus on those areas which are impacting their performance the most. So right here, I've queried downtime events for the last week of operation. And what I've been able to do is focused on a particular area of interest to me. So I've been able to filter out downtime events that have occurred related to tooling. This customer does have the ability, does have their downtime categories in subcategories. So they're able to focus on, okay, we know, these issues around tooling are really impacting us. Let's figure out around tooling which downtime events are impacting us the most, right? So if it's something around tooling replacement, we can very easily see over that period of time which machines impacted most by that particular category. And we can do this for everything from, inspections, really any custom category that you would want to create and be able to track so that you guys can focus your continuous improvement efforts in those areas. And then you can also have a more granular view of the data on an individual basis to see, okay, what was the most time-consuming event? How often were these events occurring over that time frame? And then let's say, for instance, one of those events, was categorized erroneously. Management has the opportunity to come into this interface and correct that at this level as well. Now, moving further down, we have an example of our downtime by machine. And so that's going to surface for us which machines are being impacted most overall. And then we have the ability to drill down into that data from a machine basis and see, okay, across that machine, how does that measure up? So you really do start to surface the areas that are disrupting, your performance the most with regard to downtime. And a lot of our customers will use these categories and actually launch those workflows that Jock was talking about in order to address those areas of inefficiency. So then not only do you have, okay, we have the symptoms of the problem, but we're able to address that problem in an automated way, whether it be through communication or setting off workflows, outside of machine metrics. We also integrate into other systems, which Jacob will touch on as well. Josh also touched on the ability to tag rejects at the operator interface. So I'm showing you now a representation of what that data looks like in our quality report. So it's a simple Pareto that shows, okay, we can address our issues around these areas of quality. We can likely have a substantial impact on our scrap rate. And we'll share some additional video from another one of our customers about the level of impact they could have. But again, having it at a top level view where we can see, which reject reasons were impacting our quality the most, and then even at a machine level, we have access to that as well. And just as with the downtime, we can see individual rejections, and management has the ability to go in and make adjustments there. And again, seeing those quality rejects parts out across your machine set and understanding, okay, which machines are really impacting that KPI the most for you, and being able to focus on those specific areas. Now, above and beyond that, we also, as you probably heard, the operator at Fairview Machine, we have the ability to track performance and understand, where are our operators needing help the most? Who's running these jobs well? When are they being run well? Are there opportunities for improvement? So we have a tool called the Report Builder, which allows management to pull in the different KPIs that are associated with individual jobs and even individual operators. So, the most advanced use case for this type of data would be to use it for something like a performance review, where you could have incentives based on, the different KPIs, whether it be, achievement of your setup goals, or, limiting the amount of downtime by jobs. So the way that it works is you query by the amount of time that you want to run the report on. So whether that's a daily report, a weekly report, or a monthly report. And then what you do is you select your KPIs over here on the left. And so what I've pulled out is just utilization, downtime, and setup. And then we could query that by operator, week, and machine. And we can see pretty easily, the high performers and the lower performers. And that allows management to focus on those areas where improvement's really needed. So just to give you an example, we're pulling out this operator in this week. The beginning of March might have struggled a little bit, but we can drill down into these jobs and see how they compared versus some of the others that have run during that time frame. And we can also provide visualizations as well. So if that's something, your team could benefit from in comparison, you have the ability to visualize it within the machine metrics environment, and also have a lot of flexibility built into the grouping of the data. So if you wanted to compare performance by shift, machine group, if you have different value streams or machine cells, where you want to see what your high performers, low performers were for cross training, that type of thing. You have all that capability built into this production report builder. And also one of the key factors for the report builder is the ability to save these reports as templates. So let's say you want to run this on a weekly report to understand the performance level of your operators. You have the ability to go in and just grab that template from a shared list. So now what I'll do is I'll show a video from the management at Fairview Machine, and kind of how they see the value of machine metrics.
The day. There's a bunch of benefits that we've been able to see, especially from sitting in the chair upstairs, to be able to have visibility to all the machines at any given moment on the spot. So that's helping us increase efficiency. And when you go into another machine shop and don't have this versus coming into a machine shop that does have something like this, if I was a customer looking at it, I would be saying, you know what, I think that I'm going to go with company B that has machine metrics, because there's a whole different level of control I think that shop has than a company that doesn't have it. When they know that we're going to be able to live track every single job that goes through the shop, it just gives you that pulse, a constant pulse of what's going on at your shop at all times. I think that's going to be a huge attraction to any customer. You want to be able to give your customer the best price out of the gate, and they make money and we make money. It's going to be huge, because I'll be able to have my phone, a tablet with me, and I can pull this right up. And when they ask about a hot job that is in the shop, I can show them, hey, here's where it's running. This is how many hours it's been running, all from my computer and anywhere in the world. So I think that's, again, more selling power for Fairview, which helps the whole cause.
Okay, so now Jacob's going to talk about some advances we have for the operator dashboard in the future, some that are starting to be used now by customers, and others that will be coming in the short term. Jacob, go ahead.
Thanks, Justin. So one thing I just want to make a note of is the OpDash. It's a web app. So while we do provide our customers with tablets, just because it's a huge convenience to be able to have a screen right at the machine, it's not required. It's a web application, so it can go on any device that has a modern web browser in it, preferably to have a much larger screen than your phone, but it is a web app, so it's just going to work on any modern web browser device. Some other notes. One is Justin gave an excellent demo of a report builder and also of our downtime reports. We're actually combining those so that you have all the flexibility of the report builder, but have the added context and data of all the downtime, the rich reasons why the machine was down is going to be pulled into that report builder. So you have a lot of power for understanding how to improve your process. When Josh was giving that demo on workflow improvement and process improvement, communication out to the facility, downtime is a really powerful way that you can allow your operators to reach out for help. They categorize the machine as down because they're going to first piece inspection. That can notify the quality department. Really great use case. Those use cases start to amplify with a new version of another part of our product called Activities that's being released right now, which allows for you to create different types of activities. Activities are more or less what you're intending to be doing on the machine at any given point. Two basic ones are setup and production. You're doing setup for a job, you're doing production for a job. Well, those can be broken down further. So you can have a setup mode that's first piece inspection. That will allow you to still notify your quality department to come and perform that inspection, but it also, through the report builder, allows you to see how the quality team is doing on responding quicker and quicker to those requests for that first piece inspection over time. So it allows for a continuous improvement initiatives to keep happening within your organization. Some other areas that we're looking to explore with the OpDash: custom tabs. We have a screen at every machine, and being able to pull in third-party applications, ERPs, MES systems, either directly into the interface, or a number of our partners, the ERP vendors, are actually building integrations with Machine Metrics into their software so that you can actually use machine data to drive your business. So much of the data that goes into your ERP can actually be automated. So why don't we do that? A lot of that you'll see happening over time. Another thing that you can sort of do with activity types and downtime reasons is that call for help. We have those use cases, but I can see that even expanding further with some other opportunities on the tablet. And the last piece is really about predictive. So it might not seem like it relates to the operator interface, but your operators are the eyes and, more importantly, the ears on your shop floor. There's many cases where within an organization, you have those really talented operators that know what to listen for when a machine is not doing what it's supposed to do or it's about to fail. And by having those really talented operators indicate that a machine was down because of a particular type of failure, our data science team can go in and look at the kilohertz level, high frequency data that we're capturing from some pieces of equipment and see the leading indicators that predict that failure before it occurs. And then we can have that knowledge that your really incredible operators have and democratize that, really provide your entire organization with that capability. So there's a lot of different possibilities with the operator interface. And by getting the insights from your incredibly talented teams and providing them with the communication tools that are necessary to improve your business, we're really excited to see where this interface can go.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jacob. So now, before we move over to the Q&A, we have a brief video from a case study we did on one of our customers, BC Machining. They're actually using our predictive maintenance capabilities and actively saving money. So we wanted to share the insights that they've provided on how Machine Metrics has been effective in their environment.
As a shop, every bit of scrap we produce is, a detriment to us. So our scrap, we are always looking to reduce our scrap rate. Machine Metrics really helps us track it. We can see the specific operator that tracked it, and we can also make sure that it's being tracked. To do that, we see what was entered into machine metrics, and then we compare it to the physical parts that we have. It lets us know what operator did it, and lets us know if we have a problem operator or if we have a problem process. Our star machines, they're our Swiss turn machines. They had a problem where they would break a tool and they would continue to run because they're an automated process. Machine Metrics was able to do a predictive tool breakage for us, and that has eliminated all scrap coming off of that machine. Before, it would take an operator to walk over to it on his own accord and visually verify that the tool hadn't failed. And now currently we're in a situation where 100% of the time the tool detection has caught the tool on its first failure.
So before we were using the predictive tool technology, our operators would have to walk to the machine at least once an hour and make sure the parts coming off are good. In the past, when you'd have a broken tool, you'd walk over there and you're kind of annoyed immediately because now you have to sort through all the parts to find the bad ones. And then you have to go into the machine and change the tool out and get it running again. And we had some instances in the past where we'd have a breakage right after we put a new tool in. So there's times where you'd have to change that out and do that whole process throughout an entire hour. And now, since we're using the predictive tool breakage technology, you get a notification on the screens or at the machine or on your phone that says, hey, the end mill's broken. So you go over there, you spend about 5 minutes, you replace the end mill, and the machine's back up and running. And you might have lost a total of 7 to 10 minutes. And the operator's back at the other machine, keeping production running.
Since we started using the predictive tool break technology, we have seen our scrap rate reduce considerably. Our operators don't have to go over and tend to the machine at specific intervals of time. They only need to go to the machine when we've had a downtime reason, which they'll see on our machine metric screen or from the add-on light at the machine. It's made it so our operators can spend much more time at other machines, focusing on parts that need to be produced rather than checking on a part to see whether it's still good or whether it's not good. So it's had a drastic impact on our shop floor and where our operators need to be and where their attention needs to be.
All right, guys, so we'll go ahead and open up the Q&A. Looks like we had a question that came in on ERPs. Jacob, you want to take that one? You are muted, my friend.
Thank you. Sure. So we have a lot of really sophisticated APIs for doing that, but we do have a number. I don't want to get into the specifics of which ones because there's a long tail of ERPs out there. I'd love to talk to you specifically, Kevin, to call your name out. Apologies, but reach out to us and we'll definitely talk more about whether the ERP that you happen to use is in our portfolio or what would be involved. Each ERP implementation within a shop has its nuances to it as well. So it's definitely would like to talk more and learn more. Another question that just came in: what use cases exist today between the operator feedback and the ERP? I'm not quite sure if I can get some more context on that. Maybe Josh or Justin, you.
Not so much the ERP from operator feedback, but I know that our integration with Fix for CMMS software, for maintenance software, we do have a handshake that happens between us and Fix to have a downtime be categorized and opens a ticket in Fix for the maintenance team. If you have Fix or if you want to learn more about Fix, we're more than open to chat about that for sure.
One of the ways that you might want to have your ERP interact with machine metrics could be just from a simple CSV import. So it's getting the context from your ERP of your job standards into machine metrics and creating that loop. So when the operator starts the job, they see in real time what this production standard is and whether they're meeting it. And through the use of other communication mechanisms in the operator interface, they can provide feedback to the engineering department and the costing departments to make sure that those numbers in the ERP are accurate for the standards. Another mechanism that we've seen used out there is having the ERP actually drive machine metrics. So when somebody starts a job in their either cloud-based or on-premise, I see another question come in there, on-premise ERP solution, that ERP can talk to our cloud and tell us that a job has started. And our cloud can then tell the ERP how many parts were produced for that job run. We have an edge device that lives on site. So there are opportunities for bidirectional communication, but also the integration right within the ERP itself can ask machine metrics how many parts were made for this particular run or this ticket.
Yeah, and so the next question that came in was regarding our platform as being cloud-based if we have capabilities running on-prem. Jacob, would you mind taking that one as well?
We don't. There's a lot of technologies in machine metrics today that require the scalability and resiliency of a cloud-based platform. That said, I can see over time certain capabilities on the edge being made available to expose the data to different destinations. If you wanted to build some of the same cloud solutions that you have in our product, that would be a possibility. But machine metrics is a cloud solution, and we take advantage of everything that has to offer. One of the things that I saw was there's a new tab that we've introduced with the new operator interface, and it allows the operator to see how they're doing over time, making their parts against their goal. And it's this step chart. It's very simple. It's a very simple chart, but it allows the operator, when they're looking at it, to say, what can I do that's going to make the velocity of this shift change? And so they start to game it. That operator interface, as the guy at Fairview is saying, really starts to be something that they're competing against in a way. And there's a source of pride that comes from making that tile green and making that curve point upwards. So I'm really excited about our operators, and the feedback that they're providing is allowing us to build a better and better product for them. I think we're rounding out the end of the questions.
Yes, so we'll go ahead and put a cap on the webinar for today. We appreciate everybody's engagement. And if you all have any questions about machine metrics, feel free to reach out to sales@machinemetrics.com. We'll be happy to answer those for you. Thanks everyone for your time today.